The story of the people of the cave. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom ruled by a harsh and oppressive king, there lived 7 young men who believed in the one true God. They lived in a land where everyone was forced to worship idols, but these young men refused to bow to anyone except Allah. They kept their faith secret, fearing for their lives, but when the king discovered their beliefs, they were summoned to his court.
You dare defy me and refuse to worship the idols? You know the punishment for this is death.
We will never worship anyone but Allah, the one true God.
Do you think your God can protect you from my wrath? I give you one last chance. Bow to the idols or face death.
We must leave this place. There is no hope for us here.
Let us flee and place our trust in Allah. He will guide us to safety.
The 7 young men exchange glances and in a moment of silent agreement, turn and flee from the court. The king watches them with rage in his eyes. With courage and faith, the young men chose to flee instead of surrendering. They escaped the city and found refuge in a hidden cave high in the mountains. They were exhausted and prayed to Allah for safety, asking him to protect them from their enemy. The young men have traveled far from the city. They stand before a dark cave, looking exhausted but relieved.
This cave, it will hide us from the king's soldiers.
Yes, here we can rest. But what if they find us?
We must place our trust in Allah. He will protect us.
The men enter the cave, finding a quiet corner to rest. They close their eyes, and immediately Allah causes them to fall into a deep sleep. Time passes silently around them. Something miraculous happened. As they rested, Allah cast a deep, peaceful sleep over them. The cave grew silent, and the world outside continued to change, but the young men slept on, completely unaware of time passing. Years turned into centuries as they lay undisturbed. One day, after hundreds of years had passed, the young men awoke, feeling hungry and thinking they had only slept a day or so. They decided to send one of their group to the nearest town to buy food. They warned him to be careful not to reveal who they were, fearing that the king might still be searching for them. As entered the town, he noticed strange things, new buildings, unfamiliar clothing, and people who acted differently. When he tried to pay for food with his old coins, the shopkeeper stared at him in shock.
Where did you get these coins? They're from the time of our ancestors.
What do you mean? They are just normal coins.
Are you a time traveler? These coins haven't been used for over 300 years.
300 years? That cannot be...
A crowd gathers around, whispering in amazement. The townspeople realize something extraordinary has happened. The townspeople, now believers in Allah, followed the young man back to the cave. There, they met the rest of the group and marveled at how Allah had protected them for so long. Seeing that the world had changed for the better and that faith in Allah had spread.
They say we've been asleep for over 300 years. Allah protected us all this time.
Allah is merciful. He has saved us and allowed us to see this day.
The young men, filled with gratitude, pray to Allah. Soon after, feeling at peace, they fall into a deep and final sleep. The townspeople watch in awe, knowing they have witnessed a divine sign.
The cave remains silent. The townspeople stand outside, talking quietly among themselves.
This cave will be remembered forever as a place of miracles. The cave where they slept became a place of remembrance, a symbol of faith and trust in Allah's protection. Their story was passed down through the generations, reminding everyone of the power of belief, courage, and Allah's mercy.